The guys that ladies are complaining about are their sons. If you were to sit up and talk to the mother of one of these guys that women complain about, both of y'all will be high fiving each other. You single independent don't need a man? Nah, girl, I don't need a man neither. You don't like submission? Nah, I don't like submission. Patriarchy getting in your way? Yeah, patriarchy getting in my way. Y'all would sit up and drink mimosas and be in lockstep with each other. And then the fool that she raised is the guy you complain about, which is the man you're attracted to and the man y'all dating.
You were expected to wash the children's clothes. You were expected to be your main job to be the homemaker and your main job to be the protector and provider. Like those, is that not traditionalism? And I keep saying masculinity doesn't exist because what is it?
All right. So just simply broken down so you can understand it. Authority, discipline, resilience, risk bearing, provision, and protection. Authority, when we say authority, we mean the willingness to make final decisions and stand by them. Discipline, consistent control over actions, emotions, habits, all that. Resilience, the ability to endure hardship without folding. Taking initiative, taking action without waiting for somebody to tell you you can go and do it. Just getting out and do it. Risk bearing, willingness to shoulder danger or loss to secure a goal. Provision and protection, supplying resources, ensuring safety, outcomes for the household or whoever's under your wing. Simple as that. So if you think that doesn't exist, I think you need to go get checked up by some medical official.
Okay. Masculinity, one of the most principal aspects of masculinity is responsibility. Responsibility means that I am willing to take the punishment and the consequences for the choices that I make. That's one of the chief aspects of masculinity, headship, and which I look at masculinity not through authority per se, because authority is tied to responsibility, but it's more so about headship, and headship is about being a steward of what it is that you're given. All right, so that shows up in structure, right? That shows up in planning, right? And then I would say the third and most important thing is a sacrificial heart. If the other men on this panel are fathers, you know that, and if you're fathers and husbands, and you know that we give endlessly, whether or not we think the kids or the wife deserve it at the time that we do it, whether they be in brats or selfish, it doesn't matter.
We're gonna
You
do it
give,
anyway.
yep, you do it anyways because it's on you. They
Duty.
all belong to you. And that's about taking responsibility. Every one of them belongs to you. If you produce children with a woman and don't stay with the woman, and that you have children with her, to a degree, she still belongs to you. You have to help to make sure that there's enough stability in the home for the health of the child. So it is about a sacrifice, a quiet sacrifice that nobody ever measures, and nobody ever is going to count up. Nobody's ever going to give you an attaboy for it. Maybe one of your homeboys might see you and be like, yeah, man, you getting it. But women and children will never get it at all. It is completely sacrificial. It is silently sacrificial. And your authority is made through structure and provision. And then, like I said, it's around responsibility. That's what masculinity is really about. It's really about taking responsibility, taking on the consequences for stuff that you're involved in. Sometimes you aren't even given the authority necessary to meet the obligations that are placed on you, and you still will be held accountable for it. How many of you guys have been put in a situation where you aren't given an authority necessary to meet the obligation, and you're still held accountable and responsible when the chips fall and it's time to put somebody ass and nuts on the line? So women, you ladies, you just never have a relationship like this with a man where you will be held responsible by society and by that man in this way. It just will never happen. And that's why women can't raise men. I'm not saying that to insult you guys at all, but there's just so many aspects of masculinity that as women, you don't have the faintest inclination under God what it really includes. And it's why when you raise men, they are failure to launches. They're submitted to their libido. They are hyper aggressive. They end up in jail. They make children outside of wedlock. They don't take responsibility. The guys that ladies are complaining about are their sons. If you were to sit up and talk to the mother of one of these guys that women complain about, both of y'all would be high-fiving each other. You single independent don't need a man? Nah, girl, I don't need a man either. You don't like submission? Nah, I don't like submission. Patriarchy getting in your way? Yeah, patriarchy getting in my way. Y'all would sit up and drink mimosas and be in lockstep with each other. And then the fool that she raised is the guy you complain about, which is the man you're attracted to and the man y'all dating. It's like it's a dog returning to its own vomit. Is what it is.
It wasn't.
Fellas,
Imagine
any man on this panel that disagrees with what I just said.
no, but imagine the fear is the bad part about this conversation is imagine how many fucking women are raising kids that have the same mindset, that have to question what masculinity is. The fact that you don't even think it exists and you got to question what it is and you still got to go and raise a boy. It's a sad thing. It's a very, very dangerous thing that we got to deal with in this world. We have a lot of women raising these boys alone.
Hypersexual.
So part of
the point that I was trying to make is that it's subjective. You said willingness to make decisions and stick to them, risk taking. You said masculinity is responsibility, headship, accepting consequences, structure, and a sacrificial heart. The point is, masculinity is only what you think it is. That's it. You think it's masculine because you're born in America, and these are the things that you were raised and conditioned to believe is masculinity.
Wrong.
And
You said masculinity didn't exist. You wasn't talking about whether it was subjective.
Yes, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist.
But
it's not
how
real.
How can you make the case that it's subjective if it don't exist? Does subjectiveness even matter if it's not even having any existence?
Because she feels we gave two different definitions. And because she doesn't see the overlap in our definitions, she believes you describe something different and I describe something different.
I get it now. So, wait. So basically, if you identify as a woman and I identify as a bird, gender or any of that don't exist because it's subject. Anything that becomes subjective, it goes into inexistence. That's what her logic. I get it now.
Well, no, because if you said that gender is subjective, right? Because I'm an adult human female. You are not a bird because you are an adult human male. So that's not how it works. Versus masculinity and femininity, these are concepts that we created. Like if you live in Nigeria and you have 500 naira, that is not valuable to me. And I don't respect it at all because I am not from there. So what is valuable to me is the American dollar because I'm here. So depending on where we are on the planet, money is going to be different. Depending on where we are on the planet, the idea of what is considered masculine and what is considered feminine are going to be different. It's not concrete. It's not real.
How many of you guys have traveled to different nations and different countries? How many of you guys have been to different countries and different nations? I've been to a whole bunch of them. Germany, Switzerland, Spain, France, Middle East, Asia, all throughout Asia. Are men different in different countries? Is that what you guys are finding? That masculinity is different? That Japanese men, Asian men, Arab men, Indian men, they're very different from black men or white men in America? Is that what you have found when you deal with husbands and fathers, that we don't act the same damn way?
The base nature of men,
as far they are different.
Almost everything in regards to leadership, responsibility, and sacrifice for the family and their children is consistent across the board. The cultural norms and behavior patterns may vary, but the consistent drivers and the responsibility that's felt is the same across the board, no matter which culture you go to, for men that plan to be responsible for their family. Key, I have a question for you, though. I heard you say something about, do you think gender is a spectrum and men can be women?
That kind of threw me for a loop. I didn't say anything about that.
Do you believe that, though?
No, I won't say I do, but I try to stay away. I try to stay away from topics like that because they're 1% of the population. So I just don't find it. It's just not my movement. I'd rather not speak on it.
Well, the reason
if someone has pronouns, I'm going to address them as what they asked me to. But what I believe for myself, I believe in what can be proven scientifically.
So somebody
But
tell
I'm
you,
not-
hey, address me as a fish, you're gonna address him as a fish.
Yeah, because why not? Like, why wouldn't?
No, I would like to be addressed as the supreme god of masculinity. Can you do that for me?
Can I call you Simi for short?
Semi
Or do I have to say the whole thing like a Tribe Called
supreme
Quest?
god of
Like a pimp
like
named
pimp name
Slipback? Do I gotta say the
Slipback.
whole
You gotta
thing?
say the whole thing. The
Okay.
supreme god of masculinity.
It's gonna
gotta
take
say the
me a
whole
few
thing.
tries.
Okay. I appreciate it.
Hey, she just hit us with that pimp named Slipback. All of a sudden, she's redeemed in my eyes.
Yeah, we said it at the same time.
Why does everyone call me a liberal? I'm not a liberal, I'm a leftist. It's not the same thing.
They are not the same. I agree with that.